everyone, and welcome back. We're here with another episode of Friday Sews to talk about everything sewing related that's been going on this week. Let's get cracking. I also am joined by a co-host today, which is this big old spot that has popped up. I don't normally get them, so I don't know why he's here. But we're just gonna, pretend that he's not. We can just put some hair there, and then you're none the wiser. Except obviously I've just told you. Okay, so I'll crack straight in with what I'm wearing today, and what I'm wearing is the Tula tee by, I want to say, sewing by Mazine. But if that isn't right, if I've just made that up, then I will correct myself either in the links or on screen. But yeah, it's this very oversized t-shirt. So I don't know whether you'll be able to see as I hover awkwardly, but you've got seam line here and here. So there's like 6 pattern pieces with the neckband, but essentially you've got your like grown on sleeves, you've got a panel in the middle, and then you've got 2 back panels that form the other half of the sleeve. So it's like really drapey. You can see like how long the sleeves are, and yeah, there's obviously plenty of potential for colour blocking with a pattern like this. Like I feel like it would be quite cool to have either the middle plane and the sides in a pattern, or the other way around. But I've just made it in this viscose jersey that I got from So in the batch of all of the t-shirts that I've been wearing recently. So yeah, it is definitely one for drapey fabric. So this is a viscose jersey, but you could have like a bamboo jersey or like a modal, something that's got drape. So I really like this. But yeah, I wanted another pattern that I could use with viscose jersey, so I decided to try this one out. It's a good few months ago that I made this one. The only thing I will say is that it's quite long. It is a unisex pattern, so the sizing, and it's not split out or anything, so it's just, I can't remember what size it goes up to, but yeah, it is quite long, and I am 5'3". I do have a long torso, so I'm slightly surprised that it's as long as it is. But yeah, it is a unisex pattern, so I don't know whether that accounts for it a little bit. If you wanted to wear this with like leggings, then it would be the perfect length, because it does, just cover what you might like to be covered if you're wearing leggings as opposed to proper trousers or a skirt or what have you. But I don't tend to wear it like that. I like to wear it with jeans, and yeah, I find that it is just like a little bit too long and a bit annoying, so you have to sort of, I tend to like tuck it in at the front, and then I find I have a lot of fabric sort of pooling at the sides. So I would definitely make it again, but I could easily take like a good couple of inches off of the bottom to make it more of a t-shirt style. And then I got this out of 1 meter of fabric because it's a non-directional print. But yeah, I could get it out of even less fabric if I made it that bit shorter. But yeah, if you wanted to wear it as a slouchy oversized t-shirt with leggings, then I would say that it is fine as is, but I am choosing to style it differently with how I tend to dress, so yeah, that's what I will do when I make another one, which I will. So what have I been up to in terms of sewing? So I finished the Anthea, so I did the little folding down of I'm going to try and show you, but it might not come out very well. I might just have to put a picture in, but hopefully you can see there that I just have folded it down. So I've got this little V as opposed to it being a round collar, kind of the same neck height as this. But yeah, I will take some photos and I will put them in here so you can see it clearly. And yeah, definitely will make it again. but yeah, I will pick my interfacing better so that I don't have the same problem I had with the buttonholes. And I also will probably sew the underarm, the armhole seams with a smaller seam allowance, just to give me that little bit of extra wiggle room that I think I need for it to be like something that I'm comfortable wearing. So after my last video, someone commented about my nail blouse, because I talked about the fit issues that I was having and what I was considering doing to adjust the pattern for the next time I make it. And someone else already had commented and said that they found that it kind of ran, the pattern ran a bit big generally, so they had sized down completely, like where they had sized down completely when making it. And, you know, sounded like they had some of the considerations that I have in terms of like my general size and shape. So that's definitely something to consider. And actually, after I had finished filming, I went and looked at my Quincy dress, which I talked about picking some fabrics out to make another Jennifer Lauren handmade Quincy dress. So I went and looked at the one I had. And when I looked at it, I was like, actually, there's a lot of similarities between the bodice of that dress and the nail blouse. Like, obviously the Quincy has a yoke, so it's kind of sort of a shirt dress but not, so it has a yoke, but in terms of like the front neckline of the bodice, it's actually very similar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get those pattern pieces out and just compare them with the overall like size of the nail that I've cut out and see if I think it might actually just be worth me cutting the size down. So I cut the size 4, but I was kind of umming and ahhing, so when I did that, when I made that decision, so yeah, I'm going to compare the sizes of those pattern pieces, because the Quincy dress, the bodice of that fits me nicely in terms of like, I'm happy with how high the neckline comes and where it sits on the shoulder. So yeah, I'm gonna have a look at that, and yeah, it might be the case that I do end up just cutting cutting out the body, the whole pattern again, but in the next size down, rather than making some of the narrow shoulder adjustments that I was talking about. So yeah, thank you very much to the person who commented with that as a suggestion. That was really helpful. I do have another finished object. I don't know what we're going to call it. Yeah, I do have another finished project to show you. So I had been talking about making some bags, and I finally felt like I had everything I needed supplies wise to make one. And so yeah, I cut out the Oxbow tote in the Rifle Paper Co fabric, the quilting cotton, and had some waxed canvas for the bottom. And yeah, I finished it. So I'm going to show it to you now, and then I'm going to talk about it. So here she is. So got the handles made out of the webbing. Got the little like press stud pocket here. And yeah, you've got the bottom with the wax canvas as a like reinforced, so it's quite sturdy. So the rest of it's kind of slouchy. My zipper, got a little cute, can I show this? Ooh, got a little hummingbird zipper pull, which is cute. And then on the inside, I've got this. I had this from ages ago. I think I bought it at a knitting and stitching show or something. But yeah, it's this quilting cotton with these like little birds on it. So I've got like a pocket that's got two sections in it for the lining, and yep, a crossbody strap as well for if you want to wear it like that. Now I will say that mine is quite slouchy, and yeah, I think that is probably slouchier than the designer intended, and that's just because it's in quilting cotton, and the only interfacing that I've got on the quilting cotton is some of that fusible fleece, and it's quite thin fusible fleece. So I think if I'd picked a slightly bigger one, if I'd picked a slightly thicker fleece, or I think the pattern also has suggestions that maybe you can like double interface if you're using quilting cotton for like the main fabric. But yeah, mine is definitely slouchier than it's probably intended, but I'm not mad at it. I'm really happy with this, like really happy with this. I might take it with me when I go away this weekend. But yeah, so some general comments. As I found when I was making my other big bag project, cutting out is just epic endeavour, because you have to cut out the same pieces like a bajillion times, because you have them in like your main fabric, you have them in your lining, you have them in various kinds of interfacing. And yeah, I was sat on the floor watching the football and cutting out, and I was just like, oh, am I not done yet? Why am I not done yet? Why has this taken so long? So yeah, a lot of cutting out. The designer I just put into YouTube, like the pattern instructions are really good, but I did put the name of the bag into the but I did have a look to see if there was any videos, and the designer themselves, Noodlehead, Anna, she has actually done a two-part video. I think that I've seen some other people who are obviously bag makers like doing their own sew-alongs as well, so there's definitely a reasonable amount of like video support if you want help, and I definitely found that was good to have. I'm a visual learner, so sometimes written instructions are not visual enough for me. Like I need to see someone actually doing it in practice, especially like, you know, when you get to the point where you've got all of the panels sewn on and the lining, like it is quite an unwieldy thing, so sometimes you're not sure, like, have I joined the right thing the right way? So it's definitely really great to have that video support with her tutorials. Like it's a two-part video, and she gave a lot of information about fabric choices and interfacing and stuff in the first part of that video. So if you're thinking about making this bag, would definitely recommend checking that out to help you. But yeah, overall I really enjoyed making it. I think this was my feeling when I was making my other bag pattern, that I feel like you can get away with a lot more with bags, and that's just my opinion. Other people might. The machine was at times not happy about like layers of fabric it was sewing through, but you know, when you do the big reveal and you pull it all through your hole in the lining and birth the bag, you're like, oh wow, this looks amazing. This looks far better than what I was envisioning. I thought something was going to look really wonky. So that's felt really satisfying. The only I guess like main trouble I had was, like I say, it's quite a big bag, so it's like I made the overnight version, so it's a reasonable size bag. So that meant that, you know, again, at the start you have the nice bit where there's like lots of little bits, so you're like, oh, so this pocket, so this little bit, so the handles, and then at the point when you've joined like most of the stuff together, suddenly it's a little bit like having to wrestle an octopus under the sewing machine, because you've got the handles flapping about, you've got a zip, obviously this bottom fabric, this wax canvas, is like really stiff, so you're like trying to like fold that under. So I did feel a little bit like at points that I'd had quite a bit of a workout of trying to like woman handle all of the bits underneath, and making sure that, yeah, I was following the instructions and stopping at the right points when I was sewing. So that's just, you know, it's just quite a different thing to sewing, where you tend to, even when you get to the point where you've got the whole garment, there's not usually too many like flappy bits, like, you know, these guys you know, it is, yeah, it's unless you're sewing something with super thick fabric, you don't tend to get that feeling as much, I find, when you're sewing garments. So yeah, it was yeah, at times, and I did struggle. Like, I have my sewing machine and my overlocker sat quite I have my sewing machine and my overlocker sat really close together on my desk where I sew. So I was finding my overlocker was getting in the way, so I had to like shove that out of the way from where it normally sits, so that I had room to, like, you know, finagle this into the shape to get it underneath my sewing machine and sew the bits that I needed to sew. But yeah, I am super happy with it. We'll definitely make another one. But yeah, we probably want to make it in a little bit stiffer fabric. Like, I've got some like canvas twill or drill, I think, from Lady McElroy, that I would consider making it. I feel like I said I'm going to take this with me at the weekend, so I'm going back to visit my parents. I feel like if my mum sees this, she's going to want one, and you know, she grew me for 9 months in her tummy. She can have whatever she wants. So yeah, if I make another one, I would definitely, yeah, want to have something a little bit thicker, just because obviously there's going to be fine. You know, it's meant to be filled up because it's a big bag. So and I am nothing if not good at managing to fill a bag with, you know, all those things that you never know you might need them, type situations. So yeah, that would be my, yeah, something I would consider, as and when I made it again, that I would do that. So but yeah, super happy with my Oxbow tote, and definitely excited to do some more bag making. Like I say, I need to make the backpack next, so it's ready in time to go to football next month. I realised that I needed some different sized webbing, so I had the right webbing for the backpack like straps, but the handles that go on the top are actually in a slightly smaller width webbing. So yeah, I just need to pick some of that up. But yeah, that is next on the cards in terms of bag making. So yeah, in terms of like sewing in terms of other sewing, I think I have decided that I'm going to make the Quincy dress in the navy blue sew over it fabric, but I haven't cut it out yet. Like I say, I'm going away for the weekend, so like there will be a lot less sewing time, so I may not get that. I might get it cut out by the time I film again, but I probably won't get much sewing done in general. I do have a couple of jersey tops that I cut out a while back and then haven't actually sewn up. So I've got a Tabor T by Sew House 7, and I've also got an itch to stitch pattern as well cut out. So if I do have any time for sewing over the next week, then I will probably sew one of those, because I can probably get those sewn quite quickly, and they've just been they're just sitting on the table at the moment, making the place look untidy, so it'd be good to sew them up. But yeah, I think the Quincy dress is, I don't remember it being super involved, but it's probably if you do it on a weekend, it's probably a two-day job. So yeah, I think might have to do some quicker projects if I do get time to do a little bit of sewing. But yeah, that's all I have to talk about in terms of creativeness. Like I said, I'm going to visit my family, so that'll be nice to spend a little bit of time with them before they go away. Formula 1 is back after its little summer holiday, so we'll be watching that over the weekend whilst I'm home. The football is back. Alas, we had a little, we had a classic Tottenham performance of being good, creating a lot of chances, having a lot of opportunities, and only scoring one of them, and then letting the other team back in it. So we actually only drew in our first game, which is a bit disappointing, but they're playing again on Saturday, so fingers crossed for a better result in that game. What else? Yeah, I've been racing through some books. So I kind of read in like fits and spurts of like if I get into the book I'm reading, suddenly like I just want to read it like constantly. But sometimes it takes me a while to get into things. But yeah, I've read a couple of books. Well, I've read one and I've just started on another books on my Kindle by Libby Page. So I finished earlier in the week the one called The Lighthouse, and I've just started on one I think it's called The Lifeline, which is very similar, very similar, you know, they both begin with L. And I've only just realised that the one I've just started is actually involving the character from one of the other books that I've read of hers. So, but I read that one such a long time ago that I had kind of not twigged. So yeah, I've been really enjoying the reading. So yeah, I'll be taking my Kindle home with me to do a bit of reading. But yeah, I think that is all that I have to share with you for this week. I'm thinking about what videos I might be putting together. I don't really want to say this because, you know, it is still August, but I feel like I'm going to have to start thinking about autumn sewing plans, so I might put something together talking about some of the things in general that I'm planning on sewing for autumn, because I do have some things in mind. They're definitely more towards autumn winter makes as opposed to something you can wear at the moment. So that might be something that's upcoming over the next few weeks, other than Friday Sews catch-ups. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And as always, if you enjoyed, please do like and subscribe. Always happy to have comments as well. Like I say, I found it really helpful. The person who commented with their thoughts on the nail blouse, you know, that's I think a really good reason for doing these kind of videos, is that you know, I get to hear other people's thoughts and suggestions about what I'm making, because, you know, otherwise it's just me. So it's good to have other people's eyes and ideas on things, to give me something else to think about other than what I personally think I might need to do. But yeah, thank you very much everyone. Have a great week, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye.